welcome to the next round, right? A little more intimate crowd tonight than usual, which I guess can be a good thing. Big topic here, fairway bunkers. I guess I need to back up for the camera, right? This is a pretty scary shot for most people, right? Fortunately, we don't have a whole lot of these at Idle Hour compared to a lot of golf courses, but I wanted to take some time and kind of go over this topic and give you a little bit of background on what the shot is and, in my opinion, how to hit it, and maybe different from normal in these clinics, give you a few ideas on some practice techniques and some things you can do to actually work on your skill level to get better at these. Okay, so and I want some answers. What makes a bunker, a fairway bunker shot different than a regular shot? Okay. Okay, how's the stance different?
Well, you don't feel like you're on a solid.
Okay, so the stance isn't as stable. All right. What else? Anything else? Got to hit the ball first, right? I hope that you're striking the ball first out of the fairway as well, but you can get away with a little bit of a less solid strike in the fairway than you can here. So that's a good point. You got to hit ball first, right? What else makes it different? No right or wrong answers, just curious what your thoughts are. Anything else?
Well, you have the dreaded fear that I'm going to hit it fast.
Okay, good. Here's my answer to that question. Now, I don't think it is a lot different. And I think a lot of times our reaction to some of the things that we think make it different are what cause us trouble. Okay? Let me give you a good example of what I'm talking about, okay? I'm not going to try to do anything fancy, okay? I'm going to draw a big line there. I'm going to put a golf ball right in the middle of it, and I'm going to put the ball in the middle of my stance and make a normal golf swing here, okay? Now, I didn't hit it real well, but those of you who can see it, where is the divot relative to where the golf ball is sitting? It's in front of it, right? So even out of the fairway or even out of the rough, one of the key principles in striking it solid in this game is understanding how to strike with a downward blow on the golf shot. Meaning that we hit the ball before we hit the dirt. Okay, I'll say that again. We hit the ball and then the ground. Okay, now a lot of people have trouble understanding how then the ball gets airborne if we hit down on it, and loft is the answer to that question. Okay, so if the shaft is leaning forward in space, the club is moving down, but we still have loft that elevates the golf ball up. Okay, so the tool is actually designed to strike down on it. Okay, if I were going to set this thing on the ground and put it to where the sole is flat to the ground. Does everybody think that's probably how it should be when we strike the golf ball? Sole flat? Would everybody agree with that? Tough crowd. Okay, there we go. If I hold that thing flat, I'll just go right in the middle. Duncan, which way is that shaft leaning? Forward. So when the sole of the club is flat, shaft is leaning forward. In other words, the club head is built with forward shaft lean. The tool was designed to hit the ball first, okay? Lawrence, we talked about this in our latest lesson, right? You gotta strike down on it with a descending blow. That involves two things. One, having your body positioned properly, and two, understanding what to do with your hands and arms. And that's what I'm gonna talk about, okay? Sometime when you guys are on your own, I want you to come to a bunker and I want you to draw a line, okay? Just a straight line. There's a few ways to do this, right? But start with a straight line. And then I want you to get in here, put both feet to where the line is right in the middle of your stance, and just go ahead and set the golf club down in the line. So the club would be in the middle of your stance, okay? And then I just want you to make a little bitty tiny backswing and a little bitty tiny through swing and hit the ground, okay? Where did my club hit relative to the line? In front of it. If your club hit anywhere else other than that, you need to do some work before you try to hit it out of the fairway bunker. Okay? Because if your club hits back here, what would have happened to the golf ball? Yeah, it would have gone about 15 feet. Okay? Certainly not where you wanted it. And that's a great way to first assess your current ability level. And this is also a great way to work on the shot, okay? So I would want you to stand here with the line in the middle. You're gonna make a little bitty backswing, maybe about hip high, and a little bitty downswing to about hip high again, and then you're gonna look where your divot is. And until you can stand here and do that several times, and every time the club hits in front of the line, right? I don't want the swing to get any bigger, okay? Once you can master it that size, and not 7 out of 10, not 8 out of 10, 10 out of 10, from hip high to hip high, your club's going into the sand in front. Don't make the swing bigger, okay? Now, we're not hitting balls yet. We're just making swings at sand, okay? Once you can do that 10 out of 10 times, you're gonna add a little size and a little speed. So you're gonna take it up a little higher and a little faster, and you're gonna move some more sand, okay? Every single time, club's gonna land in front of the line. Notice I've made about 7 or 8 swings here, and I've yet to hit behind the line, okay? Once you can do that from a little larger, 10 out of 10 times, then you're gonna work to a little bigger, almost up to a full swing, right? Then you're gonna swing it this way, and you'll notice every single divot is in front of the line, okay? Every single swing. All right, even if you miss it, as long as you don't hit behind it, you're getting better, okay? Once you can do that 10 out of 10 times, keeping your balance, you add a golf ball to the mix, okay? You're gonna set the golf ball just on the front edge of the line, because normally you'll make a little depression, right? You wouldn't want to sit the ball down in the depression. So just sit it right on top, put the line in the middle, and now you're gonna go back to your little swings, almost like you're chipping it out of a bunker. No question I hit ball first there. Now, when the club hit the sand, it slowed down a lot, but you see the ball still jumped off the face, okay? Average time on the face of the golf club for a golf ball at full speed, work with me here, is 0.0005 seconds, okay? It's not very long. Now, it's a little slower here when you're making small swings, but the point is, if you hit ball first, the ball is long gone from the face by the time the sand has a chance to grab the club. Okay, so all that energy's been delivered to the golf ball and your job is done. And the sand can slow it down all at once and the ball's still gonna go where you want it to go. Does that make sense? You gotta hit ball first, okay? So you're just gonna hit some little chip shots. Maybe an 8 iron or a 9 iron. I think I've got 7 iron here, but 8 or 9 will work. Hip high to hip high, just making sure the divot is in front, okay? Once you can pull that off, again, you just make it a little bit larger, right? Now we're gonna go to about left arm parallel and make the same swing. I don't care where it curves or how it flies, right? I just care about the divot being in front of the line, okay? I'll hit one more, about hip high to about hip high. Excuse me, left arm parallel to the ground to right arm parallel to the ground. We're getting a little bit bigger here. Think 9 to 3, okay? Every one of those has been a solid strike, okay? And once you can do that 10 out of 10 times, following the same line, you just make a normal full swing. Ball's gonna go just as far and just as high as you need it to, striking golf ball first. All right, that makes sense? Now let me tell you a couple of things that people try to do to help themselves hit this shot that, in my opinion, hurt the cause, okay? The first thing is they think because of the footing that someone mentioned, and it's not exactly firm footing, that we need to dig in, okay? I'm okay with that if that makes you feel more stable, but how much lower am I now than where I was when I started? A good 2 inches, if not a little more. So you better be choking down on the golf club if you're gonna do that, okay? I don't think you have to do that, But if you feel more comfortable doing it, I'm okay with that. To make up for that, the ball's not moving. The ball's still sitting level. So if you're going to go down, you better choke down, or otherwise you're going to hit it fat no matter how well you deliver the club. Okay? So that's the first kind of myth, is that you have to dig your feet in. The second myth is that you have to keep your, just make an arm swing. I hear that all. Don't move on it. Well, I would agree with you that I wouldn't want your head moving around a lot, because the more your head moves, the harder it is to hit the ground in the same place. Keep your lower body stable and just make an arm swing. That's not golf. Okay? You're not going to hit it anywhere. So I don't think you should do that either. Here's what I would recommend you do. I would recommend you take one more club than normal, and I want you to make a softer, slower. Now, why do you think I'd recommend a softer, slower swing? Well, I've got more club. I have to accommodate for the fact that it's going to fly farther. But if I make a slower, softer swing, I don't have a tendency to move as much. I can be quieter because I'm not trying to muscle it out of the bunker. That's right. That's the tendency, right? Is I bet it harder because I'm afraid I'll hit it fat and I need to get as much energy on it as I can. Well, I'm exact that, okay? You take one more club than necessary, and now you can make a good 3/4 swing because you got more club, right? And you can stay really still over top of the golf ball and not move your head really far back trying to get too much of a backswing out of it. Does that make sense? I'm going to give you one other tip. Some people doubt this works, but I've found that it helps a few students, and I'll throw it out there. Where do you look at the ball when you hit it? You ever thought about that? Where do you look?
Back of the ball.
Okay, look at the back of the ball. Anybody look at the front of the ball? I mean, I don't think it matters, but my point is, if your goal is to make sure you strike the ground in front of the ball, then you think it would hurt to look in front of the ball when you set up to it? I don't think it would hurt, right? If I'm trying to throw a ball to pink, I'm not going to be looking at Duncan. I'm going to be looking at pink, right? So if I'm trying to hit something in front of the golf ball, why wouldn't I just try and put my eyes maybe an inch or two in front of the ball, and that's what I focus on? Now, that's hard for some folks to wrap their head around, and if that doesn't work for you, that's okay, but that's a tip you might try, okay? That also serves to keep your head a little more stable, because if you're looking in front of the ball, you're going to be a lot less likely to move off of it to try to get the golf club back to that spot.
Is this on every shot or just the sand shot?
No, just the bunker shot, right? Because there's a premium on striking down on it in a bunker. Okay, you can get with an angle of attack, if you will, that's a little more level out of the dirt or off the fairway. It's not ideal. With it, that's a killer in a bunker, because if you hit just a tiny little bit behind it in the bunker, that bunker is going to suck up all the energy of that club, and that ball's not going anywhere. Okay, so one more club, 3/4 swing, and then the last part is you can try to maybe look about an inch or two in front of the golf ball to see if that helps you, right? If you want to dig your feet in, go ahead, just choke down on the golf club the same amount. Right? You're going to keep the golf ball in a spot in your stance that's, let's call it, one ball back of your normal ball position for the club you have in your hand. Okay? So if the club you have in your hand, you play from the center of your stance, I want you to move it one ball back of the center of your stance. Why do you think that helps? Yeah, it helps you hit down on it more, right? Helps you to strike ball first. Not a lot back. Don't put it off your back toe. Just one ball back of normal. So I've got a 7-iron. My normal ball position for a 7-iron is one ball forward of center. So I'm going to put this one in the center, okay? I'm not going to dig my feet in. I'm going to put it right in the middle, and I'm going to make a good controlled 3/4 length swing, keeping my head still, and I'm going to top it. Don't do that, right? Do I get a redo? That was bad, wasn't it? Right. What was my advice again? Run me through that again, what I need to do to... Let's try it again. All right. There we go. That's a little better. Not much. Let's talk a little bit about expectation level out of a fairway bunker. Okay, let's say I'm 165 yards. Let's say I'm going to that yellow flag. I'm 150, 135, 150 yards away from the green. What should I expect to do? Should I expect to get it on the green 5 feet from the hole? Should I expect to land it on the green? Okay, all right. Okay, how about this? What do you think the average green in regulation from 150 yards is for the PGA Tour players? Out of 10 shots from 150 yards, how many greens in regulation? No, out of the fairway. You think they'll hit from 150 yards? 7 out of 10? It's less than 7 from the fairway. Okay, so let me ask my question again. If I'm 150 yards from the green out of a fairway bunker, should I expect to land it on the green? Not based on those statistics. My expectation level is get it out of the bunker and advance it down the fairway. If you catch it solid and you roll it up on the green because you've made some good decisions with the club, great, right? Give yourself, but that should not be your expectation level. Okay, they're called hazards for a reason. Okay, they're placed in the way for a reason. Okay, they're there to make it harder. All right, so I want you guys to get your head wrapped around the idea that you don't have to get it out and fly it on the green. If you do, fantastic. If you don't, as long as you hit it reasonably solid and advance it in the direction of the hole, victory. Okay? Hitting fairway bunker shots is not about precision. Okay? It's about getting it out. Okay? If there's a take-home message here, it's you got to hit the ball first. And we cheat a little to do that, right? And by cheat, I mean we just put the ball a little back in our stance, right? We take 1 extra club so we can make a good controlled swing. We maybe look an inch or 2 in front of the golf ball. That's a weird one. Some people hate that one. If you do, that's okay. Just look at the ball, right? Just an idea. We do all those things to try to maximize our chances of hitting the ball first, and then we just make the swing. Does that make sense? Right? We don't have to do anything big, hard, or fast. Just advance it in the direction of the target, and you'll be able to get out of a fairway bunker. Okay? Here's the last thing I'll mention. If you are 230 yards away from the green in a fairway bunker, what club are you using? Be honest with yourself. Don't raise your hand. But be honest with yourself. How many people would pull the longest club in their bag and try to rip it out of that bunker? Let's just say it's a low lip. Okay? I just want you to consider how much more challenging those golf clubs are to hit even out of the fairway, much less out of a bunker. Okay? If you hit it in that fairway bunker, it's there to penalize you. Okay? What's your goal? Get it out of the bunker and advance it in the direction of the hole. Okay? Even if that means you make bogey on the hole. Because I can promise you the green in regulation statistic for a PGA Tour player from 230 yards out of the fairway is not real high. Okay? And you're standing there in a fairway bunker trying to hit that green from 230 yards. Okay? Now, I'm not saying you can't try it. I'm not saying you can't do it. I'm just saying you might want to think about the consequences of what you're getting ready to ask yourself to try to do. Okay? It's a hard shot to hit. Get your 6-iron or 7-iron or 5-iron or whatever you're comfortable with. To your point, the lip makes a difference, right? If it's a high lip or a low lip. If it's a higher lip, you might have to just take your medicine and hit a 9-iron and advance it. If it's a lower lip, and most of the fairway bunkers at this golf course have a lower, most of them, not all of them. Just take your medicine, hit the shot, advance it, get it out. Okay? Don't try to do anything fancy. But here's your drill, okay? Here's your line drill. You start hip high to hip high. Every shot's in front of the line, okay? When you can do that, make it arm height, all right? And do the same thing, okay? Every shot you hit is right in front of the line. And then finally take it all the way up to full swing. Every one you hit is right in front of the line, okay? Once you can do that, you know you're set up to be able to do it with a golf ball down there, okay? Because if you stood there and for 30 swings, 10 at short, 10 at medium, 10 at full speed, and hit 30 times in front of that line, then there's no reason why you can't do that with a golf ball laying there. Does that make sense?